what I projected came to pass. I said the APC would win Kwara by a very wide margin. I also said that APC should win Adamawa State. That I did not get correctly eventually, but again, I think it was a very slim margin with which PDP. But what I said that came to pass about Adamawa is that Atiku was going to win, was going to lose his local government, Jada local government. He lost Jada local government.
He lost in Yola North, where his polling unit in Yola North, where he voted.
He also lost his polling unit. So, you know, those things I mentioned there because I also understood but what worked for him eventually, I think there is this element of whatever the case, let's push and get, support our son. It worked out. As I told you, there is a substantial presence of Christian population in that state. He was able to mobilize 100% of them, and then he could get about 30% of Muslim population, and so he got that slim escape. That was what happened for him. So that again, but me, I knew that Southwest. Everybody I spoke to about the election, I said Southwest was a weak link for APC. But many people did not realize it. I knew that people will always say we have this Southwest locked. I said, well, it's not so. But I knew that it was going to be very tight. But whatever
could also be because of the maybe some people have said the voting public in the Southwest is more enlightened than anywhere in the country.
It's not that they are more enlightened. The Southwest Southwest voters are more sentimental.
Okay.
They are much more sentimental and highly sensitive. The Southwest has a romance with you for 6 months. The first 6 months of your administration is the best time you ever had with them. So, and if your team is not ready, they make up their mind. So, Buhari became almost bad in the Southwest for delaying his cabinet. A lot of criticism had gone. Then the S-main issue. He did not react to media orchestration, to pin the S-main issue as he allowed his brothers to be attacking people. So that had traveled for too long in the Southwest, and then it had damaged that initial goodwill that he had. So as a result of that, he didn't have much committed and fanatical support base again. And that election, going to that election, I saw very reluctant and unmotivated Southwest voters, and you saw that it was everywhere. The margin, the only state that did extremely well in the Southwest was Ekiti State. Yes. When you look at their progression from being far behind to...
And considering the fact that before now, Buhari has never won in Ekiti.
That is one. And also, if you know that the government had just left that place too, that was the epicenter of anti-Buhari sentiment in the Southwest. So when you saw that, change, you know that a lot had gone, which shows about how well received the present governor is. And I told you also in that program that as of now, the governor of Ekiti is doing very well, and it seems to have the people behind him. So
okay, let me quickly turn to you, Mr. Rotimi Ogunleye. Buhari has always won most of the time. Even in 2007, when he contested, when he ran on the ticket of the NPP against Atiku, who ran on the ticket of the Defunct Action Congress at the time, Buhari defeated Atiku and Yaradua in Adamawa, and went as far as defeating Atiku in his own polling unit. And he repeated that in this last election. What do you think? What factors do you think were responsible or are responsible for Buhari's victory, even in Atiku's homestead?
Thank you very much. A friend of mine who lives in the north had a brief conversation with me after the election, and what he said about Buhari was not, anyway, totally different from the impression I had about his political status. He said Buhari is a movement. He said Buhari is a religion. That if you are committed to it, you are fanatical about it. So Buhari has some cult-like followership that cut across all the northern states, almost all the northern states. So wherever you have a thick population of those cult-like supporters of his, go and bring 2, 3, 4, 5 politicians combined together, you will defeat them even in their polling units. And that was what played out in this last election. There was
shouldn't Atiku have had that home support?
No, he won't. Let me tell you why he will not. Buhari, when he left,
Because I saw video of people
Yeah.
jubilating, even in Jada, when results were announced, that Buhari won in Atiku's village.
in Jada local government is basically Fulani settlement.
Yes.
And you should understand what I mean. In the committee of Fulani Nation, the way they perceive Atiku is different from the way they perceive Buhari. And Buhari had this reputation over time. When he left the government, Buhari always lived in the midst of these people. He has not shown to them that he belongs to the class of the elite. He never, at any point in time, left their midst for anywhere. He had always been with them. In terms of materiality, they have seen him as part of them. That if this man could go into government, he has been head of state, he has been this and that and that and that. And now he's just here, a farmer, that will be having the meeting of maybe his yes-men, all of us will sit down, and he will sit, I mean, all of them will sit down, and he will sit right in their midst. So he identified with them. He shared their philosophy. He made them see through his action that I am one of you, regardless of what I've been in the past. So that message had traveled across all the states where he had his supporters. So nothing overnight will change it. And in the last 3.5 years or so, none of his adversaries or political enemies could come up with one corruption stain that Buhari owns so, except the one that exists in the figment of imagination of the conspirators of that narrative there. So there's no way he won't be winning election. He will continue to win election. He will continue to win election in those places. So that's it.
Okay, let's quickly look at some of the results. In 2003, Buhari ran and he lost in the southwest. The southeast and the south side. He performed woefully in those two geopolitical zones. He has always lost in these two geopolitical zones. But on Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, if you look at the result, especially in the southeast, and you compare what he had always scored with what he scored this last Saturday, the difference was not that much. If you look at the difference between PDP and the APC, what do you think, Mr. Gani, what do you think could have been responsible for that? For instance, let me quickly give you some of the statistics. In 2003, for instance, in Cross River, Ikoli scored 0.9% of the vote. Bayelsa 2.5%. Rivers 2.2%. Delta 2.4%. Edo 9.9%. Abia 11.3, and now Ebonyi 2.0, Enugu 1.7. And then fast forward to 2019. Abia is scored 85,058 votes as against 219,698 votes. Enugu 54 as against 355. Ebonyi 90,000 to 258. And then, for instance, look at a place like what's it called now? Like Bayelsa. The only difference is 79,111 votes and 112 votes. What is responsible for that upsurge in Buhari's votes in the southeast and the south?
Yep. There are a combination of factors responsible for the new acceptance Buhari got in the south and the southeast of Nigeria. You see, when you look at the pattern of voting in those areas, particularly when it's a traditional home of PDP all along. In fact, we are made to understand, even some of our friends who live there told us that they don't vote there, they are lot figures.
They just write results.
The right results. That was why it was possible for Rivers State to turn in 1.5 million or thereabout during the 2015 election. But this time around, you see, for the fact that Buhari now is the sitting president, he has appointed minister, and the PDP is no longer in power. What INEC succeeded in doing now is to reduce the votes, not by deliberate design, but by doing the right thing.
What right thing is that?
Yeah, you are
the first time election was there.
Yeah, you are no longer writing figures. people are now voting, and people voted.
Because let me quickly cut in. You just mentioned 2015.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2019. Look at Rivers State. You just mentioned Rivers State.
Yeah.
PDP scored 473,971 votes.
Against 1.495 or 65
In 2015. Look at that
2015.
difference.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. I just watched a video recently. We have about 11 youth corps who serve as a PO were taken to an hotel and were compelled to write figures until the soldiers intervened and rescued them. That had been the tradition. They would just sit down, configure figures, and come out with the results. And you remember, PDP were in power in those years, and particularly that year, they had the control of all the stuff. The army chief was one of them during that election. But now, the federal government and the INEC agreed that there have been no writing of votes. Look at the entire figure. During the 2015 general election, we had about, I think about 56 million voters who actually voted. From about 60-something registered voters. Today we have 82 registered voters.
35% of that voted.
Yeah. The reason is simply this. Some of this, some people got the voters card not to vote. It served as a recognition in the bank. Some in the civil service were mandated to go and obtain this card. Some are using it for NEPA, the electricity identification purposes. Some took this the voters card because their faith leaders ordered them to do. You will have listened to men preaching that you must take your PVC. People took it. When you now look at it, the figure they took is around 72 million. And you still see that the number of voters is less than 50%. This will tell you that Nigerians have not even cultivated this habit of voting. Even when you look at even our more enlightened people in the Southwest, we will prefer to sit in front of our televisions analyzing the election, while some less privileged, in quotes, are allowed to go to the street and do the voting. So, in effect, there was reduced manipulation. This is not to say elections were not manipulated during the last Saturday's election, but was a minimum one when you compare with what we had in 2015.
Let me quickly tell the members of the public that were live on Instagram, the Byte 89 at Byte 89 FM on Instagram, and you can watch live. Now, you mentioned that the people in the South and the Southeast were always writing resort. The PDP, one of the claims of the PDP, because Atiku said he will be heading to court, one of their claims is that there was voter suppression. That in those areas where they were popular, many of their supporters were not allowed to vote, and that in areas where the APC is popular, that there was the same thing you just the same allegation you just raised now, that results were written in favor of the APC.
The image is not voter suppression, it's rigging suppression. Rigging was not allowed.
But they said rigging was allowed in areas where the APC.
It is,
for instance, Atiku raised an issue. I don't know if you watch his word press conference.
Yeah.
He said that he wondered why in a place like Borno, where there's insecurity, where more voters will come out.
Yeah. Let me quickly discuss that. I remember discussing this with a friend. They said that there was bombing in Borno or whatever, Yobe, and people sticking out. If they look at what the result during the last year, you have the statistic on your table there. The number of voters in 2015 was greater than the number we had in 2019 Saturday presidential election.
That's Borno?
That's Borno. There was a reduction, despite the fact that there were more registered voters than 2015. If there are no bombing, then you'll be discussing millions. Mark you, some people will go about this. We live in a exaggerated sense of a value in this part of the country. When I say this part, I mean the southwest. We believe that the people up north are not so educated. Yeah, but they are more politically conscious than those of us in the southwest.
Okay.
They come out, they have radio. An average Almanjiri has radio. He listens to BBC. That you are a graduate, you are a worker, you are an elite here. You don't even know that a BBC broadcast.
You'll be watching African Magic.
Yeah. While that Almanjiri that did not go to that your university, that did not attend your secondary school, they have radio transistor.
Yes.
They listen to BBC. They are so conscious. They vote. They vote. They vote. And mark you, the number was a significant reduction when you rate it to what we had during the last 2015 presidential election with what we had last Saturday, and looking at the number of registered voters and number of PVC collected. Traditionally, the Northerners do vote. They vote better than other regions in this country.
Okay, let me quickly turn to Dr. Ani. For instance, in a place like Lagos, before the election, there was so much media frenzy. The PDP was almost certain that it will win in Lagos State. Now, there are allegations that many of their supporters were not allowed to vote. We saw videos of people claiming that their ballot papers were burnt. There's even the Igbo and the Yoruba issue now in Lagos State, where people are saying Igbo people were not allowed to vote in many of the places where they populate. There are people within the PDP who seem to be saying that the Asiwaju factor in Lagos State, that Asiwaju Tinubu is fast losing his grip on Lagos State. Is that really what is happening?
No, no. But
because when you compare,
yes,
the difference is just 132,810 votes.
The Lagos election will continue to be like that for a very long time.
Why?
I think I mentioned it maybe if not here to people. The Lagos, you have to look at the diversity of Lagos. You have to also look at if a man continuously wins, he will continuously attract hatred and envy. Yeah. So the man that has always won will normally attract some envy. So, and sometimes people who are envious of you become loud about it, and that's what you see. There is this talk about voter suppression. I think that word was first used by Clement Nwako, and I thought I was seriously incensed and offended by the way he was more or less inciting people even before the vote was halfway counted.
So you say the PDP bought into that narrative?
That is the thing. He actually took that word from the LA PDP complaint. Yes, there was one single incident of ballot paper snatching and burning in Okota 1 unit. And the maximum registered voter there is not up to 1,000. The people who are out to vote in that place, traditionally they have not voted. The number of voting there had never exceeded 200. So let us even say the whole of the 200 wanted to vote for PDP. Would that have made any difference in the outcome? That is the only place where this so-called voter suppression took place. That was the only place.
Whose voter?
And how could you have ever established that the people there would have voted for PDP? After all, the next police station to that place is about 200 meters.
But then Sanwo-Olu lost in his polling unit. Same as the vice president.
You see, I said it. I was in a meeting, a strategic meeting in Lagos, and I told the people there that I expect the vice president to lose his polling unit. I said it was unwise of him to have remained in Banana Island. That he ought to have moved
in the midst of elite.
Yeah, you see, you cannot be a vice presidential candidate in a nation that cherishes origin. And then you live in Kenya where you are a hero, where people are practically worship you. Even in his absentia, he won 90% in Kenya without him being there. And then where he was, he's surrounded by people who don't like the policy of the government that insisted that Nigeria must produce. They are people, the one they now call container economists. They are people who believe in import and export.
Rent economy.
You understand? This government is saying no. We don't want to be import dependent. We want to be production. So even if we can't export, large scale, as at now, let us be able to do the little things we can do. So that is a matter of economic interest. He was living in an environment dominated by all this bigotry, religious bigotry and whatever. These are the people, it is the people around the zones that are promoting them in Nigeria. So I didn't expect him to win anywhere in Ikoyi or Lekki or anything. You know, the only place you saw that they win are people where indigenous people are well concentrated. They will always look at Abuja votes. If you look at Abuja vote, APC won in Abaji, it won in Gwagwalada, it won in Kuje.
But lost one polling unit in Aso Rock.
I expected Buhari to always lose in Aso Rock, if indeed he's fighting corruption. You know, you understand? So the truth of the matter is that is it. If indeed he's fighting corruption, he will continuously lose in Aso Rock.
Okay, even people, there have been allegations that in some cases, especially in the South and the Southeast, that they were largely militarized, or like in some other places. I just read the story by Benue State Governor Otom saying he would not allow his state to be militarized this Saturday. What would you advise?
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the capacity to demilitarize his own state.
He's not the CC.
Let us even say, Now, the issue is this. You know, I always say there is something about the media. They create what is called outer reality, and we call it double climate of opinion sometimes. Going to that election, you will think everywhere in this state, one step you will see a soldier. Throughout, I didn't even see a police holding gun. I was somewhere at...
yes, there were polling units where there was no policeman, no civil defense officer.
You understand? So the noise about militarization, excessive, whatever...
But PDP claims that in areas where it is popular that there were soldiers, there were policemen.
We know that we have flashpoints. Even you, as a journalist, you know places, even in this Ondo State, in this Akure, where there could be manifestation of violence during election or even campaigns. So police, the intelligence community has responsibility to have identified where there could be problem and mobilize more men there. Why they left places that are naturally peaceful, you know, a bit relaxed. So anybody in this nation who is planning election knows that Rivers State election is war, practically war. So you are not going to go to Rivers State with civil defense men holding nothing. So what happened is that they call it militarization, just like Comrade had said. You needed this military presence to allow people who wanted to vote peacefully. Otherwise, nobody will come out. Like the election of Celestine Omeha in those days. The body you just saw talks took over the town, set places ablaze, shot guns everywhere, and the whole city became empty. And then they just they collected the ballot boxes, chased away the presiding officers, and decided, and they did justice to the thing, and they came out with about 100%.
They did injustice. That's not justice.
Now, in 2015, Comrade Gani Mohammed, in 2015, when the PDP had sway in Ondo State, there was a PDP governor at that time, Olusegun Mimiko.
Yeah.
Buhari of the APC still won in Ondo State. Fast forward to 2019. An APC governor in the saddle, Rotimi Akeredolu, APC lost in Ondo State. What went wrong?
It was not sudden. We saw it coming.
How so?
And even when the president came here on campaign tour, he told through the DG of the campaign, Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, told us there that Ondo APC needed to come together. We had the issue. And like one of my friends had stated it before today, that the problem of APC started when the names of the party ESCO were written from a corner of somebody's room in Akure, and the governor approved of it. You set the crisis going in the party. Then we went into primaries.
The governor does not see it that way. He said the problem started with the primaries.
No, the problem, governor knew, and even the entire party knew. At the time they set up a reconciliation committee to be headed by the Asiwaju Tinubu, and the governor told us that Ondo State APC was peaceful, that we needed no reconciliation. But some of us protested. Some sections of this party are still in court over the Congress. And you think that we'll go into election? You are the venue of the campaign of President Buhari. You saw that was not the true strength of APC. You saw that the AA had gone from APC. And some agreed members who are still APC were in their various homes waiting for that defeat. We saw it coming. We had AA. AA participated in an election against APC from APC. That is one of the reasons, like Dr. Aniyi had rightly put it too. The goodwill of Buhari had really gone down in the southwest and in Ondo State, and nobody was helping it. I had issue with our government in APC in Ondo State when in 2018, we were few months to the election. The government started some policies that are not too popular, like school fee in Akungba, like Okada issue. These are issues that will pitch voters against the party. So we had the party goodwill had gone down. We had crisis in the party. We still went to the election, a divided house. If the margin was reasonable, I want to say that the PDP is a lazy party. That was why the margin was so narrow.
The one in almost 2
Actually,
centuries because
it is just 30,000.
Just dash them the vote.
30,000.
For it.
30,000 votes. Ondo State is a voting state. The entire vote in Ondo State was less than 400. We used to do 600, 700. And one beautiful thing in this election is that it was less monetized.
in Ondo State.
In Ondo State.
Okay, now the APC, the National Working Committee of the party, suspended Amosu, that the governor of Ogun State, and the governor of Imo State. The two of them, senators elect, on the platform.
That of Ogun State is very fantastic and tactical.
Okay.
That of Imo State, oh, so great. You know why? In Ogun State, Amosu did not pretend about his intention to work against the party using the camouflage.
He even took the candidate of APM to Buhari in Abuja.
Yeah, using the toga of APC to work against the party. Anybody that wasted time in suspending or expelling him is only planting. He might not work for the party, but
this is a process. The governor has started it. He's been talking to leaders of the party. They have had a series of meetings, and the blame and what happened in the presidential election and National Assembly election has been put behind the party. What the party leadership is doing now is to foster a kind of unity, a kind of very strong and formidable front that will take the message of the party to the people, that will tell the people that, look, this is APC, this is what this party stands for. It will be good if we stabilize this polity so that benefit and fruit of democracy can come to us even in the megaphone.
Now, you have not answered my question. I said, did you see that the last minute campaign doing anything?
Oh, sure, that's what I'm saying. Sure, that's what I'm saying. What the governor is simply doing, what the party leadership, what they are simply doing now, is to rejig the machinery of the party. And the first thing to do is to bring, restore unity back to the party.
So some people have suggested that the Adetime led ESCO should be dissolved by the National Working Committee. Is that would you subscribe to that?
Let me just say this. No doubt about that. We have crisis in the party. We have people that share different opinions.
You're not answering my question.
No, what I'm saying
subscribe to that?
What I'm saying is this. Even if I subscribe to that,
you are still not answering my question. You're saying even.
Wait.
Yes or no?
Wait. I am a member of APC.
Yes.
That is a decision that will be taken at the party level.
Okay, but as a member, you have a stake.
Yeah, I have a stake. My stake
is that opinion.
My stake is that there must be peace within the party.
That's not the question.
The question now is how can we restore peace to the party?
That's not the question. You're changing my question. I'm asking you, do you subscribe to the suggestion that the Adetime let us go should be axed?
I subscribe to the party meting out disciplinary action to anybody that has,
anybody that by anybody you mean Adetime let us go.
If it's the chairman, if it's the governor, it depends. That is even a process of restoring everlasting peace to the party. That will only come after the election. What we are after now is how to win election for the party. After that, we'll now sit down. Then all those issues will now be taken at leadership level. Whatever the party wants to do, the party will now do it. What I think is important to us now, and it's important to me, and I want to believe it will be important to Ghani, is Saturday election. Issue of query or what
Okay,
have
I'll
you,
come
like
back to you. Let me turn to Dr. Ani. Do you see the campaign being done by the governor now and his directive to political appointees doing much on Saturday?
Well, it's not a new thing. You know, there's a way the history comes very, very in a cunning manner sometimes. In 2015, it's more or less like a deja vu. The then PDP government of Dr. Mimiko also lost the presidential election, and the whole center was could not hold.
Yes.
Everything was. I think I remember.
Did
Professor,
Mimiko support any other party?
you know,
Were there allegations against Mimiko supporting?
No, it's not a
Any
case
other
of
party
that. It's
or
not
that,
a case of that, but it's
Well,
more or
the
less
party
like
was
what you can call
badly fragmented
yeah,
into
yeah.
two.
Because
Badly
at that
done
time
this.
too, you should remember that he hijacked the leadership of the party
Yes.
from the Aboriginals,
Yes.
and so they were also hungry.
You
There
have,
was no.
it was then you have now PDP Basile and PDP Igbale.
So that is the thing. So you had that crisis also there latent. So now I remember Professor Borovis granted an interview and said that we're going to remove the governor when we come in, because it was so sure that APC will win, will dominate the House of Assembly a week later. But it never happened.
Yes,
APC
the
could only
PDP
get 5.
the
And
PDP
then,
won in.
so at the end of the day, what I'm saying, I'm seeing the same thing happening now.
The APC will win.
The APC will still have the House back.
Now, to my second question,
Yeah.
would you subscribe to the idea that Adetime should be removed?
Well, for me, I take the position of Mr. Oguleye here. You when you have a war, you must
Are
have
you
strategy.
talking as well, Doctor?
I am talking now as
Are
a,
you
as
talking?
as a realistic as a realist. If you have a war, you must choose your strategy.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a matter of strategy. You don't say, oh, you suspend the chairman, you suspend the governor. For me, if I were to be in Abuja, all these suspensions, they are not going to have one value now
To the party.
to the party.
It
They
doesn't.
will only injure the party
More.
yeah, more. And for me, even the man who is suspending people in Abuja, he deserves a suspension. He messed up the primary too. And,
Yes or no?
Yeah.
In Ondo State, would you say Adetime has done a good job of shepherding this
You know,
party?
I have been a silent critic of Adetime and Ondo State government about party management. They have very terrible party management strategy.
That's very correct.
You understand? The truth of the matter is that I have not. You see, the reason why APC lost in this state, apart from the general Southwest despotes, because in spite of this, the party still won in other states. The reason is because the party members here were totally disjointed. There is no sense of belonging. People just, like you have children that you abandoned on the street. Just moving around. People were not motivated. A lot of APC members they lined up on this thing without even knowing, like a shepherd without, like a flock without a shepherd. So I think they have realized the folly of leaving people behind. And if they are trying to correct it now, it's good for them. I only hope they will be able to do something better. Because I have personally been very disappointed about the way the Adetime's team and the governor especially, they fled this party. You don't go looking for enemies. In politics, you look for friends. It's not those that
Maybe.
Buhari with his voting talisman was listening to APC and APM in Ogun. Why was he doing that? He was clever to know that if APM will vote for me, why not? He's looking for more votes.
And Igbo Action Alliance in
And
Imo.
Action Alliance. You understand what he's doing. Even though he will look like somebody who doesn't know what he's doing, he knows what he's doing. Now that he has got the Gallery in that is when he can exercise the power. So the governor has not been wise by alienating some people. You will always need them in politics.
That's it.
Okay, you said you wanted to chip in something, Comrade Gani Mohammed.
Yeah, I like when you say whether they should suspend the party ESCO, my position is even different, because I, Gani Mohammed, and a few others are in court asking that the state, the Adetime-led ESCO is not validly elected.
That's a matter for court.
No, I'm coming.
Let's not talk about that here.
I'm coming.
It will be,
So-
it will be sub judice.
Yeah, let's not talk. Comrade Gani Mohammed, don't let us talk about
All
that.
right, I
here.
want to beg
Okay,
you
let's move on. Let's move on. The APC lost the presidential election
Yeah.
in Oyo and in Imo as well. Also in Ondo, in Ogun and Imo. the two sitting APC governors are campaigning for candidates of other parties other than the APC. When you look at these two states, do you think that the APC is likely to retain the governorship seats in these two states, Ogun and Imo?
Categorically, I will not discuss the prospect of APC in Imo State.
Okay.
But in Ogun, I can assure you that APC will win in Ogun. I can assure
What
you.
about you, Dr. Ani?
Well, me, I am not that
Optimistic.
optimistic.
Even about Ogun?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, why do you say so?
Let me tell you why. You see, the candidate of APC now was the senatorial candidate of APC in 2015 in Ogun East. Of the 3 senators, he lost.
They lost.
In this election we just ended, this presidential election, that zone, Ogun East, was the only places PDP won. You understand what I'm talking about? Except for the Rema axis of Ogun East, all the Ijebu axis, they have about 6 Ijebu local government. Yeah. APC lost. PDP won. Stronghold. And that is supposed to be the stronghold of Dapo Abiodun. So the hope of this party, of APC in Ogun, is Egba and Yewa.
And that is where Amosu
comes from. And that is where Amosu also is where. That is why I said...
But Oshoba is also from...
Let us be realistic. Politically speaking of today...
You're saying Oshoba does not have their political weight.
Sincerely speaking...
He's becoming an history gatherer.
Baba Oshoba is a respected figure. He has that father figure identity there. But he's not the one mobilizing the political...
So you're saying you see the APM carrying the day
I don't see APM. I don't see APC.
Wow.
I see uncertainty.
Dr. Lee.
Okay, let's turn to Kaduna. There have been reported killings in Kaduna, Plateau, also in Benue. In fact, the governor of Benue defected to the PDP. In the case of Benue, there has been harassment against farmers. Do you see the APC bringing any surprise in these 3 states, Kaduna, Plateau, Benue?
Well, let me say it this way. One of the reasons why the Southwest appeared in the last election to have moved away from the attachment with Buhari's image was largely because of this S-Men issue. And like Dr. Ani said, the president allowed it to stick before his men were coming to the information space to dispel the rumor. I see that working for PDP in Benue State, to be precise. If we look at Benue State, the Benue people before now were of the opinion that the Fulanis were like coming to their land to oppress, suppress, and take over their land. So if anything I repeat, is within their reasonable decision to do so that they can get away from this oppression and people who are conspiring to take their land, they will easily jump at it.
But when you look at
they might be thinking that if they in the coming election voted against the APC, that might make the president or the leadership of the party to look their way. That may be one of the things that may work for PDP. But like you already said, so many factors.
But when you look at the result of the presidential election in Benue State, the PDP only won with 9,149 votes.
Yeah, it's more to read in Benue.
Okay.
And there is more to read in Benue.
Okay.
The region where the autumn came, you know, they have this tribal way of voting in Benue.
Yes.
The region where the autumn came, they are in minority. APC candidate is coming from majority, and
Autumn is a thief man.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
No, I think he's from Guma. He's from Guma.
yeah,
That would be thief.
He's thief.
yeah.
No, Guma is not minority.
Guma
Guma is very close to Makurdi.
Yeah.
No,
It's not like-
you are looking at it. It's just like you are discussing. What can I use as an example? It's just like you are discussing Kogi State. You know the
Galas are more.
Galas.
Yeah,
that is
They are more dominant.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
from
is
Tobias.
that is pattern in Benue State. That's
You
the
are saying
pattern.
the Doma are more dominant in Benue.
Of course,
No, Idoma, no.
No.
Idoma
No,
has
I
just-
don't say, I don't.
The
I,
thieves have majority.
Yes.
In
The
fact, unequal majority.
And
three-
Trump is a thief, man.
Yes, no,
The-
but
the-
you
no,
see,
the-
within
the-
thief, there are thieves of thieves.
Yes.
Okay.
You understand? So it's just like when you talk of Call Yoruba or you talk
The
of
Oyo,
Oyo State
Oyo,
gives a
Oyo,
picture of
just like that.
now.
I
but-
may not be able to tell you the exactitude of the pattern there, but where the candidate of APC comes from, they are a majority over where
let
Otom
me
comes.
tell you what is likely to happen in Benue. APC will win in Benue.
I
The
agree.
governorship election.
Yes,
I agree.
APC will win in Benue. In fact, that the president could have that much, we should tell you APC will win in Benue. This is the first barometer we know. All the urban centers in that last election, APC won. Makurdi, for
Because
instance.
they are not affected by the
Makurdi
RPP.
is supposed to be the center
they
of
are not-
elite
Okay.
discussion, where elite determine, elite regulates public opinion.
Yeah.
If APC could win in the 3 local governments around Makurdi in presidential election, where the propaganda against APC
Was against Buhari.
was heavy, then you should know that there is much more to it. That this Jimmy, the candidate of APC, is a very popular person.
No doubt.
He's a grassroots politician. That is one. 2, there are 3 acts, there are 3 groups in this state. We have the Idoma, Igede, and the Thief.
Yeah.
Now, Igede and Idoma are more or less the same thing. Then
Yeah.
the Agatu. The Agatu are supposed to be thief, but they are what is called peripheral thieves. I'm sorry, because we have Agatu people in this state. So they are not well integrated into the core thief political
Clan,
establishment. Therefore, but that is where the crisis of this S-men is coming from. But what you see is that the Idoma will vote in block for APC.
Sure.
That is where Chief Audu Ogbe is from. And the performance of the governor is actually the problem that he has.
Yes, and he's not doing well.
That is the thing.
Okay, quickly,
So
because,
he has that problem.
because of our time, do you see the Otoge configuration in Kwara? I call it configuration because the way it's catching up. Do you see it doing the wonder like it did in the last elections on Saturday in Kwara? Mr. Rotimi,
One thing has happened to Sharaki that he may not recover from politically.
what is that?
He is now established that he is defeatable. He is no
He has
longer.
been demystified.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. He's no longer
People see him as being
yeah,
vulnerable.
Before,
Yes. Politically.
before nobody dare stand those Otoge against Sharaki, you will be beaten up. They will bring the house down and they will send the people out of the of Kwara State. I saw the video coming from Okuta region. That place,
Baruti.
Baruti houses. I saw the video. I said it was over for Sharaki.
Okay, now
was
quickly,
serious.
quickly on a final note, Southeast, South, and South. Do you see the APC making any inroad there? These are strongholds.
Governorship, no.
Southeast. No.
Rule it out.
The best of what APC can get is what they have got. If Rivers were to feed Prince Cole, if he were to be on the ticket,
Whoever.
it would have been a tough.
Whoever.
Whoever.
No, if he were to be the
Our
political-
the only place we had chance. The only place we had chance was Imo State, and the AA factor has destroyed
has
that.
blown their chance. Okay, quick, let me thank my studio guest, Dr. Ani Akura. Thank you very much for coming. Mr. Rotimi Ogbule and Comrade Gani Mohammed, thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you.
It's been wonderful talking to you. My name is Demeji Danes, and this is where we draw the curtain on today's edition of the Roundtable. Join us same time next Monday.
Thank you.
Ciao.